Santa, you bitch, didn't get a damn thing from my Christmas list. All I got was this broken heart, and that's it. Santa, you bitch, oh, there's only one thing that I truly wish. I wish my old girl would have never kissed Saint Nick.
Konnichi Christmas, I'm the Manga Claus. Konnichiwa, I'm the MangaMan. Merry Christmas, fellow manga fans! Ah, Christmas. It certainly is the most celebrated time of year. Which makes me feel kind of bad about not having a review for last Christmas. Yes, I know I had my Nightmare Before Christmas review, but that was originally supposed to be a Halloween review. And so, to make up for lost time, I'm going to have a Christmas anime for my Christmas anime review. A little bit redundant, but still. Oh, and I found one doozy of a Christmas anime in My Santa.
My Santa.
Barbershop Quartet. Nice. Usually when one talks about a Christmas anime, they're talking about a Christmas anime special, which has little to nothing to do with the series that it's based in. But that's not the case for this Christmas turd. No, My Santa was a 2-episode OVA based on a manga created by Ken Akamatsu. The bulk of Akamatsu's storylines can pretty much be summed up like this. Hey, let's have a romance story about a guy who falls in love with his artificially intelligent computer program that turns into a real girl in a freak accident of a lightning storm. Hey, let's have a romance story about a guy who's trying to get into a prestigious college because of a promise he made to a girl back in grade school. And let's also put him in a girl's dormitory filled with 5 horny hot chicks. Hey, let's have a romance story about a 10-year-old wizard that becomes a teacher to 31 horny middle school girls. Hey, let's have a story about 3 little kindergarten girls that save the planet from cute aliens while dressed up in marching band uniforms. Hey, let's have a romance story about a guy who witnesses a car accident involving a mother and son in which the mother is severely hospitalized, so the mother calls her niece to take care of her son, but the niece doesn't have a place to stay, so they ask the guy who witnesses the car accident if they can stay in his place, and he said okay. So, as you can tell, Ken Akamatsu is the king of making the same bland, contrived harem romance story over and over and over and over again! So what does this mean then for My Santa? Well, I could probably guess, but let's take a look anyways! Here is My Santa. So the anime starts out by telling us the many ways children learn that there isn't a Santa Claus. Well, that's some way of starting a Christmas anime. To add more holiday cheer, we learn that our main protagonist has spent practically every Christmas alone.
Mama! If you're a good boy, Santa will come. That's what my parents told me as they left. They also said if I was a good boy, they'd come back home. So I was, but nothing mattered. I was alone every Christmas. Still am.
Man, this is gonna be the worst Christmas ever.
Hi there. You think you'd want to spend the night with me?
Huh?
Come on, just one night?
But, uh-oh, that's not what she meant.
Let's have sex later, okay?
Huh?
As friends! Jeez, such a pervert!
And then the girl comes back with the most radical of statements.
I'm Santa! The very Santa who grants dreams and gives hopes to boys and girls around the world! Santa would never do those nasty things with you!
Excuse me, miss, but we're gonna need you to come with us.
What? Why me? I'm Santa Claus!
Yeah, tell it to the boys.
So yeah, a guy could be accused of sexual harassment and be cleared of all charges, but a girl making wild statements about being Santa Claus, oh, now that's just illegal! So after the crazy broad is dragged off by the—
I know you're unhappy!
Worst police ever!
And anyway, you can't escape the long range of my top-mounted unhappiness detector.
Ah yes, I forgot that Ken Akamatsu likes to put hair antennas on all of his female characters.
So you should spend the night with me. I promise to use my Santa Claus powers to make you happy.
Giggity.
That does sound tempting. However, your mental state is rather questionable, so I'd have to say... Sayonara, you crazy broad! But a rather determined hoe says no and demands to know why the guy hates Christmas so.
It's because I was born on December 24th and was given the name Santa because of it. Are you happy now?
Well, yes, that's rather funny and stupid, but all that I can think at this time is, oh my god, these are the worst parents I've ever heard of! Not only do they leave Santa at a very young age, but they leave him with such a name as to ensure of him being picked on by other people. I mean, my god, I've heard of stupid names that parents give their kids, but to give him the name Santa? All because he was born on Christmas Eve? Why don't you just paint a big red target on his back, you douchebag of a parent? So the girl named Santa wants to make Santa feel better, but the Santa says no to the hoe.
Well, fine. If he doesn't think he needs me to make him happy, I'll just stick to him like glue until he finally decides to cheer up some.
I'll make him happy even if I have to tie him to a bed and force the happiness on him. And the next few scenes go a little bit something like this.
Is it okay if I stalk you? I just want to make sure you're okay and behaving while I am away. Is it okay if I stalk you? Don't mind me, I won't get in the way. And although I'll see you every day, you won't see me.
And during these restraining order moments, we find out that there may be some truth to this girl's "I'm Santa Claus" statement. For it turns out that she has magical abilities to summon things.
Sunset's gone!
Why?
Because it starts with Sun, and I got more. Sankaku Jogi, Sanchuo, Sankai no Chinmi, and a Sanbaline.
Oh, but not just any things. She can only magically summon up things that begin with San. Why?
I'm covered in Sanma.
Because Sanma starts with San, just like Santa Claus!
Okay then, how about we have a magical journey to San Francisco, and we can travel there on the Santa Maria, while gorging ourselves on sandwiches, while listening to Santana, while drinking sangria! By the way, take a guess as to what her reindeer on her shoulder is called. Well, with all the other clever names, Rudolph?
Pedro and I won't just stand by and watch!
Pedro. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen, but do you recall the most racist reindeer of all? Pedro the Mexican reindeer liked to wear a sombrero, and if you ever saw him, you would say, "Hey, what a cholo, eh? Hey, you know that Rudolph, eh? He got that big red nose, eh? Yeah, f*** that Rudolph. Vote for Pedro, man." Yeah.
Is she serious about Pedro?
So after being roughed up by some Yakuza that came out of nowhere, Santa finally gives in to Santa's harassment. What was your name again?
It's My the Santa Claus.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the title plug-in. Get it? My Santa, My the Santa Claus? Get it? Get it? Damn you gimmicky names! But in a fan service, let's talk more about Santa's horrible parents with a flashback.
Is that you, Santa? Has everything been going well for you?
Well, no, Mom. I've been devoid of emotion ever since you abandoned me.
Baby boy, I'm sorry, but I don't think Dad and I can make it home this year. I know this keeps happening, and I am so
So you're telling me you can't come home on the one time of year that families get together?
I will always think of you, Santa.
So to cheer him up from his traumatic childhood, Mai throws Santa a birthday/Christmas party. And to tell you the truth, this part isn't nearly as bad as the rest of the anime. In fact, it's a little charming and heartwarming in a way. Everything is going well until Mai decides to use her magical powers to have Santa's crush from school call him up to invite him to a party. Mai immediately regrets it and tells Santa this.
You're all I've thought about since I met you. I did this all for you. Because I fell for you. I fell in love.
Well, if you like the guy so much, then why did you do it in the first place? You knew you were gonna get jealous when you had Santa's crush from school call him up, so why do it to begin with? Santa, in denial, calls bullshit on Mai's magical Santa powers, even though he himself has witnessed Mai using her powers on multiple occasions. What, you think she pulled all those crazy things out of her ass? Although that would be a pretty nifty trick. So, like the usual fanfare, Mai calls Santa a jerk and storms off, so of course Santa is going to follow her, right? No, instead he decides to abandon the girl he left crying to go to a party that he was invited to. But when he gets there, he finds out that the girl he has a crush on hasn't had her phone on all day.
Sorry if I'm surprised, but you never came when you were invited before.
Yeah, we always figured you enjoyed being alone. But if that's not the case, then come inside and join the party.
So after discovering that the world doesn't revolve around him, Santa goes in search of Mai to apologize to her. So the guy wouldn't believe in magic if it was right in front of his face, but he would believe in magic if he had called somebody up and them telling them that they never called him.
And that's why I'm going to return your magic.
Now that's what I call an apology. And you know what happened? Well, in Tokyo, they say that my small breasts grew 3 sizes that day.
That's you?
That's right. The real me, thanks to you. If you hadn't believed in me, then I would never regain my true figure. So what do you think?
I do believe in Santa Claus. I do believe in Santa Claus. I do. So Mai takes Santa up onto her sleigh and they ride up into the Christmas night sky. Now, here's the funny thing. This is the point in the story where the manga ends. But the anime decided to leave us with one more slap to the face before moving on to episode 2.
This girl wants to be a medical doctor when she grows up. She can't stand it when those she loves around her get sick. However, these children are much too poor to afford a good education. The school's too far away and their family wouldn't survive another year if the children didn't work.
Then what's going to happen to her dream?
Don't worry. She can't go to school, but she still has people to teach her. They're news photographers. During their travels around the world snapping pictures, they stumbled onto something they couldn't ignore. Even on Christmas, they can't abandon these children for their own desires. Their work is never done.
Oh, Santa, how could you be so selfish? Here you are whining about how your parents had abandoned you when you were just a child, how they gave you a name that has been the bane of your existence, but look at what great work they're doing, taking care of the poor orphan children that need to work for a living in order to pay for their family's well-being. Oh, the bleeding hearts of the world unite! Are you serious? You expect me to feel sympathy for these people? I mean, just think about this for a second. Would you want your kids or any other kids under the care of these people when they can't even take care of their own? Oh, and just think about what they've been doing before they decided to take care of all the poor orphans of the world. They were news photographers taking pictures while essentially taking a gigantic honeymoon trip around the world, and they couldn't even take their only son with them? Now, I could understand if they didn't have any money to take Santa along with them, but both the anime and the manga never go into this. I know this might be a minor beef to other people, but this exact same thing happens in other harem anime. Either the folks are on some kind of world trip, or they're just plain dead. I mean, what's the big deal? Do harem anime creators really think that the folks will ruin the romantic mood for the main characters? So much so that they feel the need to kill them off? I would think that the addition of the parents would actually add to the awkward situations that harem anime are notorious for. You know what harem anime actually includes the parents? Tenchi Muyo, one of my favorite harem animes, as well as my pick for one of the greatest. And you know who else? Lum Yursa Yatsura, considered by many to be the very first harem anime. And the parents in there are hilarious. So, yeah, Santa, how dare you feel emotionally scarred because of the abandonment of your parents at an early age? You should feel ashamed of having these very natural emotions.